This is Barry Zalma on insurance. I'm an attorney who has retired from the practice of law and now spend my time as an insurance claims consultant, expert witness, author, and producer of these videos. Today, in light of all of the problems in the South and in Texas concerning the polar vortex and other catastrophes, it's time to speak about how to deal with those catastrophes. If your house was damaged or destroyed by the actions of the polar vortex, a wildfire, an accidental fire, a windstorm, flood, hurricane, or earthquake as a result of a state-declared catastrophe, and you had a fire, homeowners, flood insurance, tenants, homeowners, or condominium policy, you will be dealing with an insurance adjuster to gain indemnity for your losses. You should recognize that dealing with an insurance adjuster in a catastrophe is usually fairly easy. The adjuster and the insurer are under pressure from local, state, and federal governments to quickly resolve the multitude of claims resulting from the catastrophe. Insurers dealing with a catastrophe will usually be in a very generous mood. They will be seeking good publicity by taking care of victims of the catastrophe quickly and fairly. To make the claims process go easily, the insured person must understand that both the insured and the adjuster have duties when damage caused by fire, windstorm, flood, or other insured perils are discovered. The following list outlines the most important of these duties. 1. You should be sure there is no unnecessary delay in reporting the fact of the discovery of damage to your insurer as a claim. This can be done directly to the insurer or through your insurance agent or broker. 2. You and the adjuster should establish that there is no unnecessary delay in responding to any fire, firefighting, flood, or water-related cause of loss. Mold may result as a natural result of water, snow, ice, warmth, and existence of mold spores in all buildings. 3. You may be asked to sign a non-waiver agreement, which is merely an agreement that the mere investigation conducted by the insurance adjuster does not waive any of the insurer's rights, nor does it waive any of your rights. 4. You may receive a reservation of rights letter advising you of your duties under the policy, the conditions that apply or might apply, and the exclusions that may apply to the facts of the loss. 5. You, as the insured, should readily and without objection sign the non-waiver agreement or accept the reservation of rights as an expression of the status quo. You give up nothing by doing so and are only recognizing that the insurer's investigation of your loss does not waive any of the rights the insurer has under the terms and conditions of the policy, nor does it waive any of your rights. 6. The adjuster should remind you immediately of your duties as the insured to preserve and protect the damaged property and to mitigate the loss with due diligence and dispatch, especially once electricity is returned to your home and water service, gas service, and other necessary to the operation of your home. 7. The adjuster will advise you of the coverages available and the limits of liability of the policy you purchased. 8. You can request from the adjuster the identity of respected, competent, and professional contractors experienced in fire, water, or other kinds of reconstruction or the drying out of buildings, and the prevention or restriction of further loss, including mold growth. 9. You should follow up regularly with the adjuster to ensure that he or she is meeting contractual obligations, since a catastrophe often makes communications difficult. 10. If you have failed to protect the property from further loss, the adjuster must remind you in writing of your failure and how that could affect your claim. 11. The adjuster will probably consider advance payments to avoid any unnecessary difficulties, so that you and your family will have a place to live while your house is being rebuilt or repaired. You can expect an advance of $10,000 to $20,000 if your house is destroyed to carry you over. Even if your house was not damaged, you are entitled to additional living expense payments if you were ordered out of your house by state government, federal government, Homeland Security, or the local fire or police department as a result of other perils that would be insured against. Remember that additional living expense coverage does not pay all of your post-loss expenses, only those over and above your normal expenses, and for that reason you should keep receipts and have evidence of all expenses incurred after the loss. Insurance claims require personal attention to detail by you, the insured. You and the adjuster should meet in person, if possible, if the claim is to be resolved expeditiously and fairly. Both you and the adjuster should work to establish a personal relationship and to resolve, if coverage is available, the problems caused by the damage to the dwelling or business structure. Once the rights, obligations, and duties of the insured and the insurer have been stated, the initial investigation is complete, the insurer is obligated to conduct a prompt analysis of the policy wording and the law to determine whether coverage exists for the damage claimed. Once the investigation is complete and the decision made, it is the adjuster's obligation to advise you promptly and in detail of the decision of the insurer. If coverage is available, it is also the obligation of the adjuster to advise you of your duties and obligations to obtain complete indemnity from the insurer and to protect the property from further loss. If you believe your property was damaged or destroyed by a peril insured against by your policy, you should call or write the insurance agent, broker, or insurer immediately, or as soon as practical after removing yourself and your family to a safe place, to report your claim. Follow up the phone call with a fax, an email, and a letter. If the house was not destroyed but a great deal of firefighting water or subsequent rain or snow and freezing water related damages or flood water entered the property, try to get a remediation team into the home or business within the first 48 hours to begin drying out the property. If you do not know one, ask your insurer's adjuster for a referral. This is crucial to preventing or containing mold growth and rot. If the agent, insurance company, independent adjuster, or restoration company delays the claim, follow up with a fax, an email, and a letter confirming their delay in responding. It would be helpful to send copies of the follow-up letters to the Consumer Protection Unit of the state's Department of Insurance. Take detailed notes of every conversation, including the name, company, phone number, address, and job title of every insurance adjuster, representative, consultant, and contractor you deal with. Confirm all agreements in writing and insist that appointments and deadlines be honored. Keep a log of all notes and letters, and ask for and keep business cards from everyone involved in your claim. Immediately after the initial telephone call and all subsequent telephone calls and meetings, write a letter or email to the broker or agent with a copy to the insurer providing the same information. The letter need not be formal. It can be handwritten on any available paper, and a photocopy should be kept. If you use email to communicate, keep copies of all emails, and when possible, print out each email and response. The notice of loss should include the following information: your full name, the location of the property, the policy number, the effective dates of the policy, the date when damage first occurred, the type of property damage, the cause or causes of the damage, and how the adjuster can contact you. That you need immediate contact from the adjuster. If your policy has been destroyed by the catastrophe, you can obtain the information needed and obtain the assistance of the insurance agent or broker who helped you obtain the policy. If the agent or broker is also a victim of the catastrophe, the same information can be obtained directly from the insurer. By providing the information, the agent, the broker, and or the insurer will have the information needed to establish that you, as the insured, have fulfilled the first obligation under the policy to provide immediate loss notice to the insurer. If the insurer is working effectively and has a catastrophe team of adjusters in place, you should receive contact from an adjuster within 24 hours of the notice. The first call should arrange an appointment to inspect the property. You should arrange for inspection as soon as possible and have the entire property available for the inspection. If emergency efforts are required, you should so advise the insurer's adjuster so that he or she can help you take emergency measures to protect against further loss. If possible, you or the adjuster should arrange to have one or more contractors present at the first meeting to determine the extent of the damage. If the damage is extensive, consider retaining the services of a public insurance adjuster. Public insurance adjusters are licensed by your state and allowed to charge a percentage of recovery for their fee. As a result, if the public adjuster obtains a settlement for the amount necessary to rebuild your house and replace the contents, you will need to use your own funds to cover the reduction in your recovery from the insurer that you must pay to the public adjuster. Never sign an assignment of benefits to someone who is not a licensed public adjuster or an attorney. If you determine a public insurance adjuster or attorney would be helpful, it is appropriate and necessary to seek one who is a member of the National Association of Public Insurance Adjusters or a member of your local state bar, which are professional membership organizations that seek to instill professionalism in the trade and ethical processes in their work as public insurance adjusters. On the other hand, a lawyer will usually work on an hourly fee basis, while the public adjuster will expect a percentage of the amount paid by the insurer. You must recognize the public adjuster will ask for a 10 to 15% fee. Do not hesitate to negotiate with the public insurance adjuster. Never pay the first fee quoted. Considering the volume of work in a catastrophe, you should be able to negotiate a fee between 3 and 10%. Your insurer should respond to typical catastrophe claims by written or verbal contact within 24 hours of your notice of the claim. The insurer should share information regarding emergency repairs, additional living expenses, temporary advance payments, and prevention of further loss with you. Your insurer should advise you of your responsibilities under the policy. Many require their representatives to be at your home within 24 to 72 hours of notice of claim. If you explain that your loss is severe, the insurer should attempt to have a representative to your house within 24 hours. Although in major catastrophes, this is sometimes difficult, if not impossible. The insurer is obligated by statute, state administrative regulations, or by the terms of the policy to determine whether your claim is covered and provide an initial estimate of damage within 7 to 14 days after the insurer's first on-site visit. The first estimate is subject to change within the same time frame. Your insurer should attempt to provide you with a written statement confirming or denying coverage. The statutory and regulatory time limits are usually waived in catastrophes and may be impossible to meet with regard to the polar vortex or wildfires and hurricanes. You should expect your insurer to return all phone calls within 24 hours. Initial contact may be with your insurance agent or broker or a claims office or the toll-free telephone number included in the policy. Because of the volume of claims after a catastrophe, this time frame will probably not be feasible. This is the first part of how to deal with a catastrophe and will be followed up with further videos. If you found this video to be useful, please refer it to your friends and colleagues, and we will continue in future videos on how to deal with catastrophe losses. Thank you for your attention, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, my Rumble channel, and my blog so that you can learn about future blog postings and the next few parts of this instruction on how to deal with catastrophes.